And
I'm going to keep doing that every time he says that.
I don't mind. And now that we've discussed that, the level in the UK isn't as it should be. So, what can be done? What can be done to improve the performance side, or just encourage more performance in general? I mean, I think definitely more stage space and a much more quieter area, because there's a lot of people that have got a problem with, because it's so loud. They don't want to do pre-recorded. They definitely want to do a live performance. Although that's remarkably difficult when you think about it. You'd have to mic the people up, and you know holding a hand microphone versus, I don't know, the little headsets I think they had at LFCC. Again, this is we're getting kind of complicated now, aren't we?
Shall I? Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, like, hello, production. Yeah, when it comes to sorting out your performances, obviously the technical aspect of your performance is actually very important in terms of microphones, chairs, tables. How is this going to work? What's the sound going to sound like? Now, the PA systems, Showmasters are not the best PA systems.
If I'm gonna be honest, PA systems at cons in general, I think I remember.
They're not.
Was it EGX? The sound system on that was so god awful. It was like I could not hear Jake Broston when he was giving his performance panel. And bearing in mind, ECG was not that busy a con, which is kind of weird considering it. Well, big gaming convention and that. It was just the sound system itself was just crap. That was it. There's no nicer way of putting it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the reason that a lot of people pre-record their performance.
It's lower risk as well. It is much lower risk.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Because to give you an example from my end, I don't even know what microphones I'm gonna get. Like, I don't know my microphone allocation until I get there. My stage is just as much of a surprise as your stage usually is. Because a lot of the time I don't know what my stage is gonna look like, where it's gonna be in the venue, how big it's gonna be. I just have to rock up on the day and be like, cool, let's work with this stage then. Let's work with these microphones then. And obviously, from a technical point of view, that becomes a lot more complicated, because when it comes to things like competitions, I can't always guarantee that we will have the right resources. We're getting to the point where we can, and we can be like, cool, we have this many resources and this and this and this. We're getting to that point, but once again, it's taken time, it's taking investment. So I would suggest pre-recording your performance if you can, because it's the same as singers. A lot of singers will pre-record their music so they can focus on their performance on stage. Do I agree with it? Maybe not for singers. Do I agree with the cosplay? Totally agree with it for cosplay, because it makes things a lot more stressful. It also depends on what performance you're doing as well. If you're singing, sing live. If you can.
No.
Really?
No.
It depends what you're doing, but because Do You Want to Kill the Batman? That was me, Jake, singing on a track. It's much lower risk just to mime to it. Get a really good recording beforehand. Don't sing live.
I see your point there if you can't hear the track behind you.
Yeah, you don't know whether you're going to get any good monitors. That was one thing, LSCC, we did have good monitors, but we couldn't have known that. If you haven't got good monitors, you might not be able to hear the track. You might not be able to hear how you're singing, so you might not be able to correct it. Just pre-record it. Have a little mess around with Pro Tools to get it right. You'll have the best version you can, because I've done live singing on stage as well. It's generally a middling version of the performance, not the worst you've ever done in rehearsal, not the best you've done in rehearsal. But if you record it 5 or 6 times, you can pick the best ones. In fact, you can often pick the best verse and just interchange them, sometimes even the best lines, depending on the song structure.
That is true, but then I suppose it kind of brings the question of how real is that? Like, to me, I think, I do agree with you. I certainly think that if you want to kind of go that way, and yes, you are right, if you can't hear a track or you can't see anything necessarily. But once again, this is completely subjective again.
Well, all I'm saying is it's lower risk for just those reasons. Yes, it is
lower risk. But if you do...
And the other thing is you're not having to worry about holding a microphone around if you want to be doing any acting, in my case, falling over.
Yeah.
I was going to say I've seen a big group do an act on stage, and they had to have theirs pre-recorded because there was that much moving around and things like props coming off the stage that they were moving themselves because it's such a quick in and out change of an act.
Yeah.
That
Groups,
it was
even if you're 2 people, just record everything. If it's just
Record
you, try and
everything,
do
it
as
just-
much as you can live. Because even if you mess it up, which was my point, like, people aren't going to know if it's
Yeah,
just you.
they can't
like,
tell.
they're not going to be able to tell. And I think people worry about that a lot. They're like, oh my god, that was it all went wrong. It's like, no, they don't know. Like, Dave and Banana Man, for instance, it wasn't Banana Man, it was the other track, but nobody knew because he was just like, he just kind of went for it. Depends on the stage as well.
Once they came on stage and that music came on, I got the laugh and that got the adrenaline going. It's like, yeah, if I just go off now, it's going to be such a letdown, so let's just go for this.
Anyway, getting back on topic, what could really be done to improve performance? I mean, is it just simply spending time? Because I think about it, I think, why are my props crap? And then it was a case of, because I've spent a month making the outfit, and it's like, oh, props, I've whipped it up in about 3 days. Is it just, you really have to spend time on it? And again, I think we are definitely a lot more focused on costuming. You know, it's like, we've just done a Hercules, because obviously I make costumes myself. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, right now I'm going to do a skit from Manchester, and it's like, oh, I really should be practicing my bad French accent, but it's a case of, but I haven't actually finished. Yeah, whatever. But I haven't actually finished. I haven't actually finished the outfit yet. So, yeah, is it just?
I've written 4 acts in advance, which I haven't even started the costumes for yet. I've written the acts. Our WCS act, which is not going to be till November. It's end of November. It's looking at. We've literally had Skype chats, so we've gone through it line by line, discussing each line, discussing what's the line doing, whether it's any use at all, whether we've got a funnier alternative we can put in. It's a comedy act, I should say. So you know what I mean? You've got to spend the time to figure it out. And also having somebody who can read through your script with a second pair of eyes and who will be honest with you and just say, that bit's not working, I don't understand this bit, this bit's really good, but it would be better if you moved it to here. Yeah, this verse or this bit doesn't really work because you're really trying to gain energy for the big finish here, so therefore, that kind of stuff. Somebody who will subjectively look at your work with enough time for them to figure it out, enough time for you to actually make the changes you need and actually be able to bring something good to stage. Not that I've ever been completely happy with anything I've brought to stage, but I think getting slightly better each time.
I think most people, if they're honest, they're probably no one's ever 100% happy with everything they do on stage. They'll come up and they'll always nitpick. There'll always be something that they're not quite happy with that they think they could do better, and it's just one of those things where if you're going to repeat that act again on a different con, you can learn from the first time you've done it. You can pick up on things you could do better, plan it out a bit more from that point, and it does kind of give you more chance to kind of open up that act and kind of that performance and kind of just almost expand on it, and it works better that way. I think pre-planning really helps though.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, I think people kind of look at it like they see a masquerade kind of like the making of your costume is your coursework, and then the performance is your exam. Because it's, you're on the day and there are judges and now we're doing a performance, and, and what I mean by coursework is, people can take their time if something goes a little bit. I know this doesn't always happen. People sit in their bedrooms the day before the con or the night before the con and sit there and make their cosplays. But let's say that we are planning. Let's say we are planning.
Okay.
I've done the same thing myself, but let's say we are planning this.
Buy all the Red Bulls in the shop.
Yes. Let's say people are, planning this. It's like if something goes wrong with your costume, you tend to leave a lot more time for it, and it's just something people do naturally. And it's like, I'm going to plan this costume, and then maybe I'll do this and I'll enter it into the and now but if you kind of plan it so that right, you've got your planning for your costume, and then you actually sit down and be like, right, I'm not just going to plan my performance, I'm going to practice. Do it in front of a mirror. Do it, like, get yourself a webcam and be like, yeah, I'm going to do my performance in here, and then I'm going to, like, record it and play it back to yourself. Always watch yourself. I know that sounds really dodge, but it's not. Watching yourself, rehearsing in mirrors is such a good way to engage with your performance, to figure out what you're doing, and to make you do it better without you going on stage and then you watching your performance back, which is what people tend to do, and they're like, oh, this could have been better, this could have been better. Cut that out, just do it beforehand. Get a
Yeah.
friend to
Okay.
film yourself.
All right.
Well, Jake actually came for Do You Want to Kill the Batman? Jake actually came around to my house,
Yeah.
and we basically spent a whole afternoon just doing the act. And it's like, right, this bit, maybe it'll work better if we try this. And we just tried it. I was pretty bruised by the end of it, actually, because I get thrown around a lot in that. But-
Jesus.
well,
Yeah,
yeah, you need to take the time on it. You're absolutely right, Jess.
And the thing is that I know that people will be like, oh, what about the distance? When we did the Les Mis performance, which was a 15-minute performance that we did for a smaller convention that I was stage the managing on, we did Skype rehearsals. And yes, you can't block it, you can't necessarily move, but you can visualize it in your head. Literally spend a night, sit down and watch yourself in your mind performing and talk about it. So if I'm here with you guys now and I'm like, right, we're gonna do I'm trying to think of a Phantom I know and I'm immediately looking at my DVD collection. Okay, we're gonna do a Phantom of the Opera performance. And Dave is going to be the Phantom.
Of course.
And we're going to do the scene from The Masquerade where they all come on. Danny, I want you to visualize walking down the stairs. You come on, stage right, and just say it, say it out loud, and use your hands and be like, "Cool, stage right is this way, and you're going to come down from here." And Kim, you're going to come out from the side, and you're going to be all like masquerade. I'm doing this terribly because I've not really planned it. Draw diagrams, plot your performance in paint. Skype has this brilliant tool. If you go to call and then you go to share screens, you can literally draw things in paint. That's something else I did when we did the blocking for it. I was like, cool guys, this X is you, this X is me, this Y is Mel. And we did, and it was really good. And yeah. Sorry, that had a lot of momentum and didn't really end with a nice crescendo. Yes.
I was going to say something. I was like, I can't remember what I'm going to say now.
Sorry.
Practice in the mirror. No, I definitely say there's a lot of merit to that because, oddly enough, I don't actually do that. I don't actually do that anymore. When I when I was starting out my cosplay, I would just practice my poses in the mirror, and I would actually most of the time realize, that doesn't look right. That looks far better. That's far epic. But it's because now I've kind of got like a set number of poses. I don't really do that anymore. So looking in the mirror, okay. All right. Definitely have to remember that one. Yeah.
New costume, Danny. New poses.
Yeah.
I mean,
to be honest, do you know what the funny thing about my assassin costumes is? Even though I've got muskets, flintlocks, I've got swords, I just always end up just posing with the hidden blades because I just think, that's assassin. But again, that's a derailment. So every time I'm an assassin, I just always do the hidden blade. So it's like no matter how many weapons I get and stuff, it's just hidden blade. It always gives a kick out of people when it's like. But anyway, I digress. So is that really is to it? Just spend more time, look in a mirror. Isn't there anything else we can pursue? I mean, has anyone done any acting classes? Are they of any use?
Yeah,
I definitely kind of learned my lesson from previous, my previous cosplayers. I left everything till last minute, even the acting bits on most of them, except for my second to last one, which I actually planned out from the beginning and knew where I was going to go with it. Really worked towards planning it out. And again, with this next one I'm planning out for the Five Nights at Freddy's one, I'm literally planning it all out. I'm actually organising times where we're going to meet up so that we can actually work on costumes together and actually start acting as well together and plan out what we're going to do, where we're going to go on stage and visualize it and all that. And it's just that pre-planning phase, I think. Okay. It can be such a lifesaver.
Okay, yeah, sorry to cut you off, but the buzzing is kind of getting a little bit more intense, Kim.
Sorry.
Okay.
It sounds like... Not really.
Okay. It might be the fans on the laptop, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Sounds like electrical buzz.
Yeah, I was going to say, try giving your microphone a wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle.
Okay. No.
Try like a proper like an aeroplane, but not like an airplane. We're not 5.
Leave that in, please, Danny.
Yeah, don't worry.
Oh, please don't leave that. Oh, don't be mean to me.
Is that better at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a
Yeah, a
lot
little
better
bit,
now.
little bit.
Okay.
That's good.
But yeah, you're going to say something, Dave? Yeah.
I've never actually done acting classes. I've done acting as a kind of showed up on the day type acting, but I've never done acting classes. What I would say is doing singing classes and learning to sing really helped me with my stage work, because that just opens so many more doors. And in fact, as I said, all these acts I've got planned in the future are basically me rewriting somebody else's song to fit the characters. No secret, that's what Two-Face is going to be doing, that's what Ryuk's going to be doing, that's what the Joker's going to be doing. So getting help from people who know what they're doing here, and just learning the basics in what you're doing is probably going to really help you a long way. And also, I don't know about you, I found that singing lessons did help me get confidence for going on stage. I don't know if you feel this got the same from acting, you guys?
Yeah, like I think because I did like theatrical singing lessons for God knows how long, and I love live singing. I love it. I love the rawness of it. I love the passion of it. I don't think that you can get the same rawness and passion that you do when you perform in a studio as you do when you perform live, which is maybe where I'm like, just come and just sing. Ah! I'm really passionate about singing. I love it. It also teaches you how to use your muscles correctly and your diaphragm. You have to sit up straight so that when you're on the stage, you can sit up and you can project. Hello, I'm projecting now from my diaphragm, and I feel it just here. Whoa. And it teaches
We
you...
obviously had the same singing teacher as well.
And that's really good. It's why when I'm on stage, most of the time I don't really use a microphone, because I'm like, hello audience. But sometimes I use a microphone. Also, the stages are small.
Yeah, being able to project is really useful, though, even if you are talking to a microphone, because it makes your diction that much more clear.
Yes, in terms of loudness, we can deal with the loudness on the production side. In terms of clearness and pronouncing your words with your whole mouth like this, it teaches you to make sure that you strain the right vowels and consonants.
That was really threatening, actually.
It was very over-exaggerated for the purposes of acting. Because, of course, when you act, it's entirely different to how you behave normally, especially on stage. When you're doing acting, usually, everything is really over-exaggerated. It's completely different to television and film. Because, as you can see every gesture, and what I'm doing is really over-exaggerated, whereas when you're on film, you make very small gestures, and if you're making very small gestures with your face, for instance, you don't need your hands, you just do it with your face. So there is a massive difference between the style of acting, the makeup that you should use. When you are on stage, if you're under lighting, your makeup will look considerably different to if it is not under lighting. In terms of whether or not acting classes are useful, yes, acting classes are extremely useful. But don't think you have to go out and spend lots of money on them. There are so many community theatres that you can get involved in. And ultimately, the thing that acting classes teach you how to do is it gives you that experience of just being on a stage most of the time. Of course, it'll teach you techniques. It'll teach you performative techniques. It will teach you all the theory, like gesture, posture, all of that kind of stuff. If you want a good book for theory, I should have one here. Sorry, I'm also in my pyjamas. I don't know if I can get at it at the moment.
Jess destroys her house.
Yeah, I'm literally just moving house. So everything's in boxes, and that looks really dangerous. I'll give you the link, and Danny can post it online. It's called something like Making a Performance, and it'll run you through all the basics of how to use gestures and body movement and things like that. But yeah, the things that you'll get that are really valuable of it is when I started in the theatre, I had a really terrible twitch. Now, I know that sounds a bit weird.
Okay, elaborate.
Yeah. You'll get this a lot with some performance. Like, you'll notice that Darren Brown has a nod that he does. So he'll be talking to you and it'll be like that, because it's part of his magic and suggestibility would be to give a nod, like yes, and that is a kind of a lead for the person. But through kind of his performance nerves and his little quirks, that's kind of carried on into his stage career. My one was my neck would seize up, the muscles would become rock solid to the point where I couldn't actually move my neck. I would have to be like this. And when I would speak to the next character, I'd be like this. Oh, hello, how are you? And then I would have to move over here. I couldn't move my neck.
Moving like a Thunderbird puppet.
Pretty much, yes. I was operating exactly like what Danny's doing now. And it was really daft, and it was just nerves. Whereas now, once you've gotten over that bump and that anticipation, because when you're in a stage show, there's a lot more anticipation there, because this is something that you've been practicing for months and months and months. You have a script and everything's there, whereas if you're in a community masquerade, you're just sort of, oh, that sounds cool, and some of you will do it on the day, some of you might have a few weeks. Obviously, LSCC is a lot different. You've all been practicing for months, you put so much work in your costume, and it gets you over that bump. And as soon as you're able to get over that bump, and you've had the practice getting over that bump, that is so valuable, because you can step on stage and just be like, yes, I've done this whole bump thing now. I can get over you, stupid stress bump and nerve bump, and even just that is really valuable, I think. So yeah, I suggest go and study, go and read some books. They're not very big. The one I've got is about that thick. It's not thick at all. It's a really interesting read. I think some people get put off by reading kind of theoretical books, because drama tends to be a very wishy-washy subject a lot of the time. People are like, oh, and the meaning behind this.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking you can learn acting from a book.
Yeah, like, it's one of these things where don't go for the book where it's like, oh, and the meaning behind this is that, like, just shut that off.
Yeah, because I am trying to work out exactly how does a book teach you how to act. It's I always figured it was a hands-on thing.
I imagine it teaches you all the background stuff you need to do to get the
the
performance.
basics.
You know, and it's like, you know, you've got a performance, you need to get these things ready before you go on stage. It might be a good idea to practice these things. I imagine that's kind of how it works, but the actual acting's still up to you.
Even the muscles in your face are a good example for how to do gestures, because obviously you've got your eyebrows, and then you've got your eyes, which are really expressionate, and then you've got your nose, and then you've got your mouth. And all of these kind of...
Okay.
It's one of the warm-ups that people do when you're in acting. Warm-ups are awesome. I love warm-ups. There's a lovely video of me on YouTube, if you can find it, of me standing there for about 5 minutes going, brah, brah, brah.
No, I hate that.
Yeah. And... because we were playing pregnant women.
Okay, then. All right.
As you do.
Yes, don't use just one technique. Go away, have a bit of a read, have a poke around on the internet. You don't necessarily have to buy a book. I'm just a bit of a bookworm. Practice on stage if you can. Host a performance in your living room and invite some friends over. Just be like, hey guys, I'm going to do a performance in my living room for you, and there'll be beer afterwards. Do you want to come round? But yes, I'd always... Yeah, we have nachos. I'd always recommend that the best experience is a combination of theoretical and practice. So
I think from a younger person's point of view as well, like when you're in school and stuff, obviously there's always like stage shows that they put on, and like musicals and that. I would advise people that want to like get into cosplay and want the confidence and that, to really put themselves out there, go and do the musicals, go and do the shows that there are at school, join clubs. There are loads of like kids clubs for acting and general confidence building and choir and singing, and there is all sorts out there. So just push yourself out there, go and get that confidence boost that you need, that you want, and do it, because it will help in the long run.
Yeah, I think to get back to Danny's question as well, in terms of more things that we can do, I'm always like, from an organizer's point of view, I'm always really conscious that we give something back, and we make sure that the guys that are doing this and putting in all this effort feel that they're receiving something for all the hard work that they do. And you get a lot of things, I think, just from entering a community masquerade, let alone entering, you know, a big LSCC masquerade. It's something you can put on your CV, which a lot of people don't realize. They're like, oh no, I must keep my geeky hobby completely concealed. No,
Would have been so
towards
much
me
better
there.
if I'd done that.
Please don't. When you
Little
do
nod
any,
towards you there with that to see
Yeah,
if you think
it's like-
you remember that.
what? When you sent me yours?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That
and
was
yours was like
embarrassing.
healthcare, all of the health and the caring, and I'm like, just put what you do in your CV. Drama has a lot of skills intrinsically built into it, just in and of itself. Let alone when it comes to costuming, especially if you've handmade your costume. You'll probably hear me talk a lot about the elements of cosplay, and that is looking at all of the individual aspects and elements that make up creating a costume. Let alone with the fact that you're dealing with deadlines, you are organizing an event in and of itself because you're organizing the event of yourselves, you're organizing a performance. You're dealing with confidence. You know, when you start the world of work, you will have to do a presentation in something, even if it's in retail. And that presentation is speaking to customers. The world intrinsically,
retail.
yeah.
The customer
Well,
is always wrong, by the way. Just saying. No, I'm just saying. It's in my crappy little store work. It's like people, they honestly bother you to say, yeah, can you tell me how much that is, even though there's a price right in front of it. It's a case of, am I seriously
know
being
the
asked to
feels.
ask for prices that they can read themselves?
I
I
know the
remember that.
feels. I remember
And
some
half the
twat.
time they don't even buy it; they just put
Yeah.
it back, and it's like, why? Why did you do this to me?
Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent. Yeah, sorry, you were saying.
Like, I remember somebody. This is linked. I'll link it back. There was somebody that walks into my store and demanded to buy 400 grams of Jacob's crackers. He must have not 200, not 400 grams, and it was like,
That's a lot of
I
crackers,
have
by the
brought
way.
my own weighing scale so I can prove it.
yeah.
That's a lot of crackers, by the way. Yeah.
And drama is made up of a lot of improvisation. When you start kind of practicing drama and you go to drama clubs and things like that, you'll do things like go and watch Whose Line Is It Anyway? That's another fantastic
That's a good show, yeah.
Whose Line Is It Anyway is amazing. But one of the things that they'll do in Whose Line Is It Anyway is they'll give you an object to pick up. I'm just trying to find one now. They'll give you an object to pick up, and you have to think of a use for it that it's not its normal use.
I
Um,
love that. It's a great
So-
game to play as well when you've got friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
All right, I got a remote. I got a remote too. Yeah, crappy old Sony television. Well, Toshiba actually. Yeah.
We're all doing the same thing. We're all like, now it's a
No, we're having a
lightsaber.
Lightsaber.
I feel a
Shit.
disturbance in the franchise. Anyway,
But
sorry.
that's the massive ability that employers are looking for as well. They are looking for innovative young people that can solve problems. And what you are effectively doing by turning a remote control into a lightsaber is you're solving a problem. I'll apply this example now back to the shop example. I'm really sorry, sir, but I do not have your 400 grams of crackers. However, we do sell 200 grams of crackers. Now, if you add 200 grams and 200 grams together, you will achieve your 400 grams of crackers. So it does have real world examples and experiences that people can use. That's a terrible idea. Please don't think that you have to go from drama into retail. It's totally not true. You can go and be whatever you want to be. As
Disgusting
well, a
thought,
lot
but
of
yes. Yeah.
yeah, it's like taking experience from my industry. I am effectively in the events and marketing industry. I own a marketing company that occasionally does marketing things sometimes. Usually with cosplay. Hello, look at all the pretty cosplay.
When you're not playing lightsabers with your tele remote.
Oh, so surreal. One minute you'll be selling Plantronics headphones to corporate customers. The next minute you'll be like, come around! We have a meet-up with cake! And there'll be cosplay! And there's an Iron Man that's doing the dance with the drunk! It's weird. You get used to it. But
That
yeah,
does sound awesome, actually.
it is. It's very
so
surreal.
fun.
You have to sometimes remember where you are. I remember being at a world summit at the Excel Centre, which was really big, and there was lots of foreign ministers. And I remember turning around and saying something like, "What have you done, did?" And you can't say that really in a professional environment. Everybody looked at me. But anyway, this is off topic. Yeah. So my point is that these skills are very transferable. The second thing is that the prizes in masquerades are always one of those things where it's like, oh, but it's a competition. It's like, well, yes, it is in a sense, but the reason I personally agree with masquerades having prizes and that we up our prizes is because I know that I don't have the budget to give every single person that enters the masquerade, whether it be the regional qualifier, the championship, the community, a prize. If I could, I really would. I would love to, but there isn't the budget for that. So this allows us to reward the people that have put in the most effort, the most time, the most dedication, that have gotten something back. They've gotten all those transferable skills. They've achieved something amazing. They've got confidence, which is, you know, a really good thing. And you gain confidence by going on stage naturally, and you get this amazing reward for it that might, you know, pay for your costume back or take your career further. You know, if you want to do something in cosplay or get somewhere or be somewhere, then you totally can do that. So yeah, that's why I'm really up for prizes as well.
Okay, but to close it up, definitely the way to improve is to, I guess, just spend more time, read books, even though that seems like a weird concept, and join amateur theatres. You say so?
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely amateur theatres. I mean, the thing as well is, I've got one more point, if that's all right, and then I'll shut up.
Yeah.
When it comes to the events and marketing industry, which is what I was leading on to earlier, there are obviously degrees that you can take that will lead, like, you can do an events management degree, you can do a project management degree, you can do a business management degree, you can do a marketing degree, you can get a Charter of Institute marketing qualification. All very good things. But a lot of the time, people will value a drama degree if you have it, especially if you have it with another subject like English and drama, because if you're in events and marketing, you've got your content creation there, you've got your people skills, you've got your presentation skills, and you will do a lot of presentations and proposals in marketing and events that will consume your life as it is consuming my life at the moment. The written word, everybody wants information about the written word. Go away and write a script, do that, there you go. So there's so many skills. That's the last word from me. Thank you.
Okay then, and okay, that nicely close up the show, and all that's left to do is just say thank you very much to my guests. So thank you as always, Jess.
Thank you very much for having me, as always.
Oh, excellent, and thank you very much, Kim.
Thank you very much for having me.
Cool, and Dave.
Thank you, and yeah. Great fun being on the show.
Oh,
hope to cause chaos another one at some point in the future.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is probably will not be the last appearance of the Penguin. Two-Face. Ryuk. The red coat officer and the grey assassin, also known as the ice cream assassin, even though I'm not quite sure where the hell that came from. By the way, all that's left to do is where can we find you? So Jess, where can we find you?
Same as always, go on costumeandplay.co.uk. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter as well.
Excellent. Kim, where can we find you?
Well, I don't actually have an actual cosplay page yet. I haven't actually been able to create one, down to just not having any professional photos done yet. So I'm planning to have one done as soon as possible. But yeah, Costume and Play, you can find a little profile piece of me there. So definitely go on that. And if you want to find me at cons, come to iSeries, Insomnia, come to the con there, and just literally come and have fun. I'm there. I'm bringing Cards Against Humanity with me and whiskey.
Oh yes,
yay!
Nice
Cards Against Humanity and alcohol, yeah.
Okay.
So
Dave?
yeah, definitely turn up.
Okay, sure. Dave, where can we find you?
Well, Google Dave Collier cosplay and you'll get a video of me stripping. But Rocket Pen Cosplay is my Facebook page, which I should update more than I'm doing at the minute. I'm a bad supervillain. Dave Collier on Facebook. I probably if you send me a friend request, unless I know you in person, I probably won't accept. Feel free to follow me because it's good for my ego. And I'd also like to give a shout out to the person who helped me with all the singing and all my future involvement in singing. Her name is Jen Hazel. She's this amazing musical genius from London, and yeah, she does the accompaniment for my songs and looks at my lyrics to make sure it's not crazy. And her and her boyfriend help out with the recording and all the editing stuff. I really have a chat with me, and I'll put you in touch with Jen, and you can get hopefully a really good musical act. Yeah. yeah, really awesome person. That's my plug for them.
Excellent.
Right.
Okay, and we are out of here, folks. Thank you very much. Adios.
See ya.
Bye.